Jones,
What's up, brother?
welcome back.
Hey, as always, man. Another beautiful night.
Yeah, beautiful night. It's our second try, man.
Yeah,
I was on a ramble and I couldn't remember what I was saying.
we made it back for a round two, bro.
Yeah,
Technically
absolutely.
round three.
That's right. Well, I got other videos coming out in March. This will probably come out in March too.
Yeah.
Probably releasing one or two. And what I was saying was before I kind of got tongue tied was that my production sucks. I know that for sure. But it's not so much a high production thing. It's, look, we got cigars in our hands. We're going to talk about some good stuff. We've been talking about some good stuff. And it's like, this is the topics that gentlemen are chatting about.
Right,
this is a
dude.
cigar talk.
The production is just window dressing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, I definitely, like I said, I got a camera on a stick. I definitely need to get that a lot better. But I'm learning. But nonetheless, it's like an invitation to our conversations.
Right.
You know, that you hang out with us while we're talking about certain things.
Yeah.
Now, we got a little bit more structure this time instead of freestyling, okay? I got it on the phone. I need to look at it here. But let's kick off with this before we get to the juicy one, right? We're in our late 30s now.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? Not even, it doesn't even have to be 20, in your 20s.
I mean, for me personally, I know exactly what I would say because I think looking back, this was a big part of my, I don't want to say like challenge back then, but something I think I should have focused on more was the future, dude. The bigger picture. I think I was too much into tonight, this weekend, all that shit. And I didn't necessarily think of how that was going to play into
Right.
a year from now, 5 years from now,
Right.
all that shit. You know, I wasn't putting pieces together to set me up to where I want to be later on. I was like, hey, tomorrow's Friday, we're going to get fucked up. Let's just focus on that. So I would say thinking of the bigger picture, right? Taking steps now that are going to help me more in the future, learning shit now, getting better at shit now that I could then implement and set myself up better in the future.
Well, and this kind of links to our second topic, but we'll get there in a few minutes. And what about women?
That too, man. I think, I don't know, you don't realize it as much, at least I didn't when I was younger, but just fucking like going out there and sowing wild oats when you're young. And I don't mean that in a bad way and fucking anything and everything. I mean it like, learn what you like, dude. Have experiences with women as far as like dating and, you know, to really, because a lot of that shit teaches you about yourself too and what you like, what you prefer, like
Right.
how you are in relationships. Maybe some things you're not so great at in a relationship. Maybe, you know, maybe there's some things you need to work on that you'll never know if you don't put yourself out there and in those situations, dude. Just really gaining experience, gaining as much experience as you can, dude.
Right.
You know?
And would you do a not long distance, but like a long-term relationship in your 20s?
See, man, I did that in my 20s, and while I think it was good and it taught me a lot, and again, this is pretty specific to me, I think I dragged that relationship out longer than it should have been, and it ate up a lot of my good fucking young, youthful years.
Yeah,
but
time and money.
yeah, man, and it's tough to know that, I don't know, when you're that age, that damn, this is someone I am really committed to. But yeah, I think if you really feel that this is the person for you, yeah, be in a long distance relationship, or not long distance, but long term for sure. But if you know that
Yeah.
it's not, get rid of it, man. Don't drag shit out that isn't gonna amount to anything, you know. And that's one thing I think I learned when I got older.
Right.
For anything, not even just relationship with women, with jobs, with anything. If it ain't working, get rid of it, you know? Because time is fucking the most valuable thing you got, dude.
I'll add to that. I tell myself, going in reverse, right? Because I know I was asking about women, but I would tell myself, hey, don't get married. I got married in my 20s, remember?
Yeah, you did young, bro.
I got married in my 20s.
Were you still in college or right out of college?
I got engaged in college.
Yeah.
My senior year in college, and then a little bit afterwards, and that's when the economy crashed.
Yeah.
What's that, like 09, 2010? And I got married. I would not do that. To all the young fellas out there, do not get married. And I would have definitely, now it's hard, but I would have definitely wanted to lock in more. You know, I wish I could have told my younger self the knowledge. I think more importantly than locking in, because I think I was locked in a little bit, but I would have told my younger self the knowledge that I have now on how to find a job using LinkedIn, obtaining useful skills, you know, getting into the business sector way faster rather than like education or food manufacturing.
Right, yeah.
You know, that is what I think I tell myself, like just transferring a whole bunch of knowledge or concepts to look into.
Yeah.
You know, I got to stop saying but concepts to look into that helped me over the years. Try to have easy lessons rather than hard lessons.
Right, yeah. Which is tough when you're younger, man, because sometimes, though, those hard lessons are what stick the most and what grow you the most, you know? Sometimes you need a hard lesson. That's one thing when you're saying, like, lock in. I for sure wish I would have locked in more when I was younger. But then again, I'm happy with, like, having the experiences of being a young 20-something, dude, you know? I wouldn't have wanted to, like, spend my 20s, you know, in front of a computer screen learning how to code or get better at, you know, to really advance myself from a career standpoint. Like, I like that I was out and about, like, socially and growing friend group and all that shit as well, you know, doing dumb shit that a 20-something's gonna do. For lack of a better way to say it, like getting it out of my system, you know, learning, you know?
Right. I'll be honest with you, I can totally understand and respect where you're coming from. I used to think that way, and then as I, you know, got in my 30s, this is where my mind went, is that it's tough because you have youth and energy on your side in your 20s.
Right.
It's one of those things like, what will eventually take you farther? That you apply that youth and energy into yourself and your career and making money and things like that, versus having a good time, chasing women, et cetera, et cetera.
For sure.
Because ultimately, when you are hitting your stride in your late 20s, early 30s, like you haven't made it, but you can start telling, okay, this is my career, this is my career path.
Things are starting to come into focus.
Yeah, I'm starting to make some money now, you know. I'm starting to make more big boy money, okay? My education, my locking in has paid off, blah, 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 right? That you can have so much more fun and more experiences in your 30s when you have that money.
Agreed. I completely agree with where you're coming from, man.
You know, so I gotta stop saying but you remember when we all went out and I bought us the table like twice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I gotta stop saying that could only have happened
at this
in my
age,
30s, you know,
for sure.
The downtown cigar bar that we like to go to, right? That amount of cost, that's like a $3,500 membership.
Yeah.
I could have only done that in my 30s with the money I make.
Yeah.
Right? And how much fun do we have doing that?
Oh, for sure.
We can host, you know, we look like gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know. So even if you were a 30-year-old bachelor, living life, you want to hang out with your friends, because I kind of stopped playing video games and I really started maximizing, spending time with the guys, networking, improving my skills, etc. But I think the mileage goes way farther having yourself established in the 30s in the department of having fun.
I agree with you there because you have more resources to have bigger and better fun too, you know? And I get where you're coming from of like, man, if I could focus that youthful energy I had in my 20s towards learning these things and putting myself in the right place so that when I am 30, you know, I could really capitalize, makes a lot of sense. Because think about it now, dude. If you're 30-something now, you're in your career, you don't have a lot of time to learn a new skill or level up or do all this shit like you did when you were 20, bro.
Right, especially when you got kids, you're married, et cetera,
dude,
et cetera.
even just from an energy standpoint, you know? when you're 20, you'll grind it out till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, no problem.
Right.
When you're 30, it's a different story, bro.
Exactly. Imagine locking in to 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Instead of coming home, you didn't even get the girl. You blew like $200, $300.
You got McDonald's
dude.
breakfast. At
Yeah,
4
you
in
had
the
McDonald's
morning,
breakfast, looking slopped up, fat and slopped up like me.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, I hear you, man.
So
I guess a best of both for me, I would have liked, because I definitely was all one speed, party, 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 be young, and that's
Right.
it. And I think that definitely there's consequences to it that you don't realize when you're in your fucking 20s, you know?
and back to dating. You know, we're both straight guys, so we talk about women. Has your taste in women changed from your 20s to now mid to late 30s?
I mean, I guess it depends what you mean by taste, but I think what I value in a woman has definitely changed. Like when you're younger, it's all straight looks, you know? Now you value personality. Does she have ambition, something going on with her life, you know, things like that. So definitely my horizon has broadened in that, you know, spec as I've gotten older.
And with that said, do you think more in wife and motherhood?
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. 100%, man. Whereas when I was younger, no.
That may
You know?
not have been a category.
Yeah, it was probably more temporary, you know.
Pleasures of the flesh.
Right, yeah. Now, and I think about that so much more now. When you're looking at a woman, date and all that shit, does she fit these other buckets, you know? That were never even open to me in my brain. My brain wouldn't even go to those other buckets when I was in my 20s, you know?
Absolutely. Were there any girls in your 20s that was the one that got away?
I mean, it's tough to say. Maybe. I think there were definitely some that it was probably bad timing. Like if we met at a different point in life, I think things would have went differently. Where like I was more mature, you know, things like that. Yeah. So I think there are situations where maybe they weren't the one that got away, but they were one that would have been better suited for
Right.
me.
Would have been a good one.
Yeah, when I got older, you know, and could really understand the situation and the value that they brung to the table, you know?
You make a good point. And to go back to kind of what I was saying, to qualify a little bit more, on the topic of love, I would have told myself, stick to respectful, short-term relationships. You know, don't get married, as I said. But I don't even know, even if you do long-term, because, and I got to think of a better way to say this, because it's going to sound a lot harsher than I mean it, but you spend a lot of time and energy, you know, mental energy, sexual energy period, on chasing women.
Right, yeah.
When if you're a young 20-year-old, you are a young prince, you should be focusing on how to become the king. Because when you're the king, as the point I was making earlier, a lot of options and maximized scaled fun becomes available.
Right.
You know, when you're young, broke, and in your 20s, you know,
You take what's available.
yeah,
dude,
you take
know?
what's available, but you're gonna have what, a fun quote unquote fun time at the bar, right? But when you're 30s and you got it, you can do experiences.
Yeah,
You can
your
do
level
trips.
Right. Definitely gets higher and higher.
Right, it scales way
the
more.
older you get and the more resources you have available
Absolutely.
to you, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So on the topic of love, because in my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, because, you know, our boys and all are helping out with the chats, I want to talk about, in no particular order, gentlemen's issues, things that guys are talking about, from the not only in the barbershop, but in the cigar bar.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people say, oh, what the barbershop's talking about. Well, I'll add one to that. What the cigar lounges are talking
I feel
about.
like that's even, I mean, maybe it always was, but
Right.
now that I'm older, like I feel like that's even more so the area where those
The spot.
conversations
Well, that's
are
where I
happening.
want to be, because I want to
Yeah.
hear the gentlemen, especially those who have made it and they're doing well for themselves and a lot better than me. I want to see what they're thinking, what they're asking, what they're saying,
Yeah.
what their opinions are, and why. What are they basing all that on?
Right.
I want to learn from that. So, so men's issues, what the guys are talking about at the cigar lounge, dating, because I think that's important. You know, men, it's especially important for men because we have so much, it's so baked into us, like, you know, reproduction. Hey, she looks good, go talk to
Yeah.
her. You know, that impulse is strong with us. So it is a very important topic to not only control yourself, apply it in a healthy and in control way, you know. And I would even say, thirdly, as much as you can, convert that energy into something productive, like locking in and focusing on building your
channeling
money.
it into something.
Channeling it.
Yeah, agreed, man. Having a focus, and that's kind of what I was saying with thinking back to, like, damn, I wish I would have focused more on the bigger picture of, like, hey, you can't just keep going to the bar every weekend, you know? You need to start focusing on, what am I going to do when I'm older, you know? How am I going to advance my career and shit like that, which, you know, didn't really hit me until I got older. But if I could have been focusing on it at a younger age, I could have jumped, you know, levels and maybe skipped lessons and got there a lot faster, you know?
So let's switch gears more to the current timeline, into the present. Last talking point on this is, talk to me about your dating experience here in South Florida now.
Yeah. I mean,
Because you're the single one between the two of us.
again, I can only speak to my own experience, but for me, it's horrible, dude. I feel like, I mean, you have kind of two sides to it, right? You got dating apps, or you got meeting out in public.
Right.
For me, down here, the dating apps are atrocious. For whatever reason, I think some of it is like the women get inundated with matches, and, you know, there's only so much time they could spend, you know, communicating with everybody, and you know, some people are going to get pushed to the wayside. So, like, really having a real conversation with someone through an app is, like, damn near impossible, I think. And then just out and about, I mean, down here, the real scene to meet people out and about is, maybe I don't know any better, but it's bars, it's clubs, it's shit like that. And I don't know, it's a lot of younger people. You know, now that I'm older, it's I'm running in, I'll go to a bar and it's 24, 25, 26 year olds, which is great from a certain perspective. But if I'm looking for wife and someone serious who has their shit together, you know, maybe it's not. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just tough, and I don't think a lot of them are serious about finding somebody. They're looking for kind of whatever's in the moment, and I don't know. I haven't found it to be fruitful at all, really.
And we don't have to get into specifics, but generally, do you like to stick to girls our age or a little younger? And we'll just leave it at that. Like
Yeah,
a
me
little younger,
personally,
yeah.
I would like a little younger. Obviously,
younger.
I think that there is a line, because you want to have commonalities.
Right. Yeah, totally. It can't be like a 22-year-old and it's like, what do you talk to them about?
Right. But I also think, maybe selfishly, I don't necessarily want to be long term with someone who's 37, 38, because if I want to have kids, like, we either got to have it in a very short time span, or
It's
we
risky.
could run into
risky.
challenges there. So younger, I have more of a time span for us to really get to know each other, see if that's something that makes sense, and still have that opportunity, instead of meeting someone who's older and like, hey, we got to make this decision now, or it's, you know, a big liability.
Yeah, and I'll say something to that. When I was younger, I never really understood why older guys would be with younger girls, you know. And now that I'm trying not to say, you know, like, I'm cringing every time I say it, yes. But I'm doing a lot better. But the older I get now, and I'm speaking from a healthy perspective, not that, you know, any weird thing going on, from a normal, healthy perspective, that now that I've matured a little bit and I've gone through my own struggles and suffering, that it's more so you want to be established, you want to be husband material, then go date. You know, you want to establish yourself, you want to have your career right, you want to have your money right, you want to have experiences that you can call upon to tell good stories, to make her laugh. It's hard to be funny when you don't have a lot of pain to laugh at,
It's true.
a lot of experience to go through, funny stories, painful stories that you can make funny, etc.
Yeah.
So in a normal, healthy, appropriate setting with no bad vibes or bad goals, a guy who's a little bit older and a lady who's a little bit younger, I think, for me, almost kind of makes sense in that regard. Now, I have no problem dating someone my age, personally.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I don't have done it.
Right. I
anytime.
mean, we both have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I guess I'm just commenting on how I had that realization.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say that. Like, I remember you'd be younger in high school or something. Like, what is this asshole doing with?
Well, and you know, I thought about that, but see, that is a little weird to me. Like, if I'm 21, why am I dating a 17-year-old?
Yeah, and maybe that's a gross example, but
Right. That's
know?
a little strange to me. If I'm 20 and she's 18, I don't know. Well, you were a senior when she was a sophomore. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, you would look. At least I would look. Be like, what is this jerk off doing with?
right.
You know, a younger girl our age. But then, like you said, you see it when you get older. It makes a lot of sense, dude. They fit a lot of the shit you'd be looking for when you are older.
You
know?
And to be clear, when I said that, I'm thinking of, for example, a guy in his 30s dating maybe like a 27, 28,
Yeah, like a young,
29-year-old.
yeah, like a mid-20s or something.
You know, not like someone who just became 20 dating someone out of high school. Like
Yeah.
I find that strange.
Right.
You know,
That's what I was saying. Like, there's a line, dude. You got to have some
Yeah.
kind of commonality.
there's like
It
there's a
can't be that
concept of
drastic
scale
of an
to
age
it.
gap. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a part where I find it inappropriate, and there's a part where it's like, well, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
like he's trying to be somebody before he, becomes the provider. Say,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
I think women would see it that way too. Like, hey, and I think that's why they go for older guys. Like, hey, this guy has his shit together. He is in that position to, be a provider or settle down now and blah, blah, blah,
I want to go back to dating in South Florida. I think. I mean, before I met who I'm with now. Let me just say it like this. Let me see if I can articulate in this manner. Look at me. And the comments have made me known multiple times by, I got to show you some of the
Really?
Yeah, that I'm fat. Work out, bro.
Really?
Yeah, oh my
That's
God, they're
funny,
hilarious,
dude.
bro. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. I've been told to work out. I've been told to get on Ozempic.
That's funny,
Yeah,
dude.
I've been told that I have no discipline. Stop talking about discipline, blah blah, because I'm fat. It makes me laugh. So the point I'm trying to make, going back to dating in South Florida, I'm about to say something. Tell me what you think. That, using myself as an example, I'm fat. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm tall. I'm a big guy. Essentially, it would have to be a lady that is into big guys. So let's say I hit that qualification, because I'm not for everybody. Like,
Yeah, there would obviously have to be a mutual
Correct.
attraction, dude, between you
exactly, everyone is not for everybody. People like certain things. Okay, they have preferences, no problem. So if I qualify into her preferences, and I think with the ladies, if they hear a guy that is articulate, can share the stories, make her laugh through your pain, that is going somewhere in their career, treats them with respect, doesn't call women bitches.
Yeah.
That's an important one. And she sees how you treat other people around you, servers, waitresses, other women,
Yeah.
right, service workers, etc. I think that's I don't want to call that rare, but that for some reason, and that's very like stereotypical. This is how your mom and dad taught you how to act.
Yeah.
Stick to the basics of being a gentleman is what essentially I'm trying to say. An educated, well put together, well spoken, going somewhere or already there gentleman.
Yeah.
I think that's more on the rare side these days, and the girls go crazy when they find it.
Dude, I feel like if a girl's meeting a dude who has all the things you just mentioned, how is she not going to be fucking swooning, you know?
Yeah, and why I was kind of talking to myself, how I was trying to say that was to reconcile it, is that when I was trying to date, I didn't really have problems. You know, God, stop saying, that it was a little different for me because I was kind of traveling around the Americas at the time, but not only in person or on the apps, for me it wasn't that tough. And I realized I don't know why we had a different experience, to be honest. I don't have a comment on that, but I remember once I was able to get in front of them, a lot dug me, were interested.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to say, like, even me being this kind of like fat Jabba the Hutt looking guy, with a good looking face, I was able to have, attention. So I guess my point is, I wonder why that's so rare with men these days.
Like as far as having interactions with women, or?
No, why do you think they're not so well put together?
I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Maybe it's an education thing. Maybe they don't know what being put together really is,
Or culture.
Yeah. Maybe they're not around it or saw it growing up or were taught it or, at whatever the reason is, and maybe that's why,
I think here's my theory. I think a lot of women respect the classic male archetype. Like I was saying, a well put together gentleman.
Yeah.
Let's just summarize it like that. Speak well, got it together, blah, 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 blah. And that's just, for some reason, rare today. And when women see that, they're immediately attracted to it. No matter, maybe he's a little chubby. Maybe he's good looking enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of women can look past looks, dude.
Right.
More so than
I
men
think
could.
so. I think so.
Yeah.
It's more like, hey, is he going to be a calm and strong provider, a great father, a leader?
Yeah, I think they value other shit besides. I mean, not to say that they don't look at looks, but I feel like they value the other shit, whereas a man, at least your instant go-to is looks.
And I know I look ridiculous now with my pants and my long t-shirt here. My UFC edition.
It kind of flows,
joggers.
dude.
Yeah, well, and I got the white Crocs.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
if
kinda
anyone
flows,
can see
dude.
that, but I just don't know if we're going out tonight. I've had a lot of women, when I dress up, compliment me, hey, you look good.
Yeah.
No lie. Like, kind of like, funny enough, how stereotypically, how a guy would kind of just say, and by the way, you look beautiful tonight.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of very nice, respectful women say, hey, but yada, 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 you look good, you dress nice.
Yeah.
I think that's increasingly getting rarer and rarer.
Like a dude dressing up, yeah.
Yeah. Like, dress up.
I mean, I
Act like you belong.
I don't
Act
know
as
what
if.
the reason is, but I feel like you could say that maybe that's a societal thing, dude. Like, back in the day, that was the outfit, bro.
Right.
You dressed up to go to the grocery store, bro. Like, it
Yeah,
was
the
all
full
the
suit.
norm, yeah. Whereas nowadays you see it, for a formal event or, some special occasion, people dress up. So maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know.
Let's switch over to our last topic here. Money. Now that you're making a bit yourself, how has, and I'll let you qualify this question however you want, but how has your approach, your thought process, your appreciation, your concept of money, how has it changed from your 20s to your 30s now?
I don't know, man. I don't know, to be honest with you, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like spending money now is a little easier in a way, just because, like, the older you get, the more expenses you have.
Right.
And, like, you see how expensive things really are. Where, like, if I were to spend $200 when I was 22, that would have been, like, a hefty fucking thing. Now you drop $1,000 on car, some repair bill, something like it's nothing. It just shows me the value of needing to have money and how valuable that is with respect to, resources and just basic need, and even for freedom, dude. You know?
And something I've been saying on my YouTube videos is, guys, you have to get an education the market rewards.
Yeah.
And remember, education is not just going to university.
Yeah.
It's skilling into a job that, maybe you have to go get certifications. It's leveling yourself up. It's going to the trades.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Whatever it is, or you do the 4-year, the 6-year, whatever it might be. But the jobs that are going to pay require education into it, and something that the market rewards.
For sure, yeah. Anything of value, you're going to have some know-how to it,
And if you're working essentially unskilled labor, and I don't agree with this. I hate that this is true. I wish we lived in the 1960s where you can work at the grocery store and own a home.
That would be
I wish that was
incredible.
the case. Like, work equals living. I wish it was, but unfortunately, in this economy, and again, one more time, I'm not happy I have to say this, but if you're unskilled labor, you're screwed.
Yeah, I couldn't.
If you respond back that, oh, how much you make, and you respond back by an hourly rate, unless you're an attorney or something like that, you're fucked.
I'd be scared as fuck, dude.
Oh, I make $21 an hour.
I'd be scared as fuck, dude.
Yeah, here in South Florida, that's nothing.
Yeah, not to say I'd be scared as like you're fucking a loser. It's like, how do you live in this day and age, especially down here with how expensive everything is, bro? It's just...
And it's only getting harder and harder and harder for the young people. And that's something else, too, I want to continue to talk about is, number one, I accept and I want to call out how tough it is for the younger generation being the early 20-year-olds coming out of school now.
Yeah.
It's only going to continue to get tougher. I have a 4-year-old boy. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like for him.
Yeah, what a world, dude, it's going to be, man.
So, all right, we're back. Our little camera here overheated. So, we have top quality equipment here. And it's low on battery. Okay, it's
We're
running.
making do though,
Yeah, we'll wrap up here. But as I was saying, it's going to be tougher for the younger generation. We'll end it on this note. What is some advice? We probably got 2-3 minutes here.
Yeah.
Advice for the young gentleman out there.
I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, I think if you're young, fucking be risky, right? You got time to outrun that risk, and you have time to let it all play out. And, like, think of the bigger picture, man. Everything you do or everything you don't do has a consequence, dude. Has a cost. Whether you see it now or you see it in 5 years. So think of that. Think of how everything plays together. Think of how things are going to prepare you for the future, and take risks, man. That's it.
Bonus question, because we have a little juice left here. How important is it to have a strong friend group that are assets to your life and not liabilities?
I mean, I think it's essential, dude. That's where you bounce ideas off of. That's where you get, I mean, amongst family and shit too, but that's where you get support from, dude. Like, I think it's critical to leaning on them, learning from them, all that shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially when the ladies come and go,
exactly.
you should always have your boys there.
Yeah, dude.
And they should always be men of quality, fellow gentlemen, going places.
Right. I mean, you know what they always like. You are who you hang around. You are your environment. So if you put yourself around people who aren't going anywhere or providing anything of value to, I don't mean it in a transactional way, but you're probably not going to go anywhere either or learn things or grow in that way. Where if you are, you're gonna, hey, you're doing XYZ. Damn, I didn't know about it. Tell me
Yeah.
about that. Let me learn about that.
Or push each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Push each other,
dude.
help each other lock in.
Exactly.
Different skill sets that you can
Yeah.
bounce off each other. Absolutely.
man.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching us. We survived.
Yeah.
Me repeating 1,000 times and the camera shutting off.
Yeah, we
But,
know we're amateurs, man. Save the comments.
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely. I guys, I know I'm fat.
Right.
Thank you.
Me
Thank
too,
you.
dude.
Thank you. Well, I hope this helps at least one person out there.
Yeah, fuck, man. That would be awesome, dude.
That's right. See you guys around. Thank you. Sovereign Equity.